What if Persia conquered Greece? One battle. One decision. And the entire future of humanity changes. In the 5th century BC, two worlds stood opposed. Greece, fragmented, chaotic, experimental. Persia, vast, wealthy, organized, unstoppable. History tells us Greece survived. But what if it didn't? The true path history might have taken. Imagine a Marathon lost. Thermopylae forgotten. Athens burned beyond recovery. Democracy dies before it can grow. Philosophy silenced. Freedom redefined. The Hellenic age fades into the Achaemenid dominion. Under Persian control, Europe becomes a province, not a birthplace of rebellion. Loyalty over liberty. Order over debate. Stability replaces innovation. The flow of progress slows to a controlled trickle. The cultural life becomes dictated by the great king's court. Europe settles into centuries of quiet compliance. No Plato. No Aristotle. No foundations for modern science or political freedom. Power flows from kings, not citizens. The idea of voting never exists. Political development stagnates under imperial decree. Persian tolerance allows many religions, but no challenges to authority. Empires rule by administration, not inspiration. Humanity advances. But slowly, cautiously, under watchful eyes. Without Greece, Rome never rises as we know it. The Republic never takes hold on the Italian peninsula. Europe never leads the world. The center of civilization remains in the East. Global standards are set by satraps, not senators. Democracy becomes a myth, not a right. No Western Enlightenment sparked by Greek ideals. Imperial stability dominates ideological progress. The Renaissance, if it happened, would look vastly different. Global technological advancement would proceed at a snail's pace. The human spirit, tethered by order, might never fully break free. This is the shadow world shaped by one lost battle. So, remember this. History is not inevitable. It hangs on moments. The small choices that cascade into empires. And had Persia conquered Greece, the world you live in would not recognize you. The mobilization of the Achaemenid Empire was unparalleled in antiquity. Their navy alone dwarfed the combined fleets of the Aegean Sea. Greek city-states fought each other, even as the giant approached. The failure at Salamis would have been catastrophic in this timeline. The decisive loss shattered the nascent pan-Hellenic identity. No unified resistance meant no shared cultural memory of victory. Without Archimedes or Euclid, pure mathematics remained purely applied. Astronomy served only divination and navigation, not cosmic understanding. The critical method was replaced by the imperial decree of truth. Innovation became evolutionary, not revolutionary. The intellectual spark needed for scientific leaps was dampened by imperial oversight. The Hellenic legacy was absorbed, its genius sterilized for administrative use. The Roman Republic, based on checks and balances, would never emerge from the shadow of a long-established monarchy. Concepts of citizenship and inalienable rights remain foreign imports. Law becomes synonymous with the will of the current satrap. The idea of written constitutional limits fades into obscurity. The concept of Western Enlightenment is lost before the Dark Ages could even begin. No challenge from the West means the East remains unchallenged for millennia. European artistic styles borrow heavily from Persian court aesthetics. Tragedy and satire, cornerstones of Greek drama, never evolve. The human element of existential questioning is erased from public discourse. Philosophy retreats entirely into the private, protected libraries of the few acceptable scholars. The fire of critical inquiry is carefully banked. The Hellenic legacy was absorbed, its genius sterilized for administrative use. Zoroastrian principles might spread, but always secondary to loyalty oaths. Heresy is not defined by doctrine, but by insubordination. The unifying force of a common god, often seen in Western history, is replaced by allegiance to a terrestrial monarch. Monotheistic fervor is channeled into imperial cults. Religious innovation becomes deeply interwoven with political loyalty. Conflict shifts from belief to administration, dampening passionate social revolutions. Without Greek navigation knowledge, coupled with Roman engineering, long-distance exploration stagnates. The age of exploration, as we know it, is indefinitely postponed. Naval technology remains focused on troop transport and supply lines for the sprawling empire. The Atlantic remains a terrifying, insurmountable barrier. Global interaction is mediated solely through Eastern trade routes. The cultural dominance of the East persists, largely unchallenged by external forces. Where modern politics thrives on friction, this world thrives on consensus achieved by decree. Revolutions, born from ideas of popular sovereignty, never ignite. The European focus shifts entirely to local administration and maintaining Persian infrastructure. Any form of organized protest is swiftly and brutally crushed by the omnipresent royal guard. The incentive to challenge the status quo vanishes. Education prioritizes obedience, calligraphy, and military history. The Socratic method is treated as subversive interrogation. Libraries are curated collections of approved, pragmatic knowledge, not centers of free inquiry. The concept of pure knowledge, untethered from the state's needs, is alien. The intellectual darkness stretches across centuries, preventing the Renaissance from flourishing naturally. The heavily armored hoplite gives way entirely to light infantry and cavalry tactics. Siege warfare and logistics become the defining elements of conflict, not decisive battles. The concept of Western military superiority never forms as a cultural narrative. The strategic focus remains on maintaining the vast borders of the satrapies. There is no need for rapid military innovation when the overall imperial structure is so dominant. Imagine a modern world dominated by centralized bureaucracy, not individual ambition. Innovation is slow, managed, and always serves the state. The West remains merely a collection of resource-rich provinces. The cultural legacy of freedom and rational debate is silenced, echoing only in forgotten ruins. This butterfly effect demonstrates the fragility of civilization's trajectory. History is a sequence of moments where choices matter more than momentum. The courage displayed at Thermopylae was one such moment. The philosophical dialogues in Athens were another. Had the Persian tide broken differently, the light of the West would have been snuffed out. Our democratic institutions, our scientific methods, all depend on that improbable Greek victory. Consider the world that vanished because of that singular clash of empires. The world is not fixed. It is perpetually being written. Be aware of the moments that define your present. History thanks the victors, but it is built on the resilience of the defeated.